saw, I picked up the Insta360 X3. This isn't going to be a typical review where I go over the specs and the aesthetics and the feel, because this camera's been out for a year now, and there's plenty of other videos and websites and everything you can go to see that. What I want to review is the usability of the camera for the average consumer, somebody who's recording their own sports and other things like that. In other words, me. One of the reasons I bring this up is because this is my GoPro Hero 5 session, and we've definitely been through a lot. From racing to the garage to the street, I use it all the time. But I feel like half the time I'm wrestling with it, trying to get it to work, waiting for the app to respond, trying to make sure I've got everything set up. And that's the last thing I want to be thinking about when I'm doing something else. In fact, when I was going to use the Hero 5 as my secondary camera, it took forever for it to connect to the app. So for the Insta360 as an action camera, usability is going to be the #1 thing I'm looking at, followed by the increased capability compared to my single lens GoPro, and then image quality. So let's see what I can get.
All right, $45.
$45? Scaring me a little bit. I saw the look in your eyes, even through the sun.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah. This is kind of sketchy. All the other mounts I've seen have 3 to 5 suction cups, and here I am using a GoPro one, but here we go. My experience so far has been pretty positive actually, but I do have a couple gripes. The first one was that I didn't realize that it auto pans when you are recording. There's a setting called direction lock. I think they want you to use their tracking, but the direction lock would be a lot more helpful. The second part was editing in Premiere. It was a lot easier than I thought because I did think I was going to have to use their software and then export from there, but I can edit directly in Premiere. You do lose some of their features, but that's really not that big of a deal because you can use their software if you need to. Last is the time to connect and start recording. It's pretty quick compared to my GoPro, but it does take time to turn on or start recording or connect to my phone. So if there's something you need really quick and the Insta360 is off, it's going to be hard. Overall, it's pretty positive though. I love that I can set it and forget it. I do not want to be thinking about getting the exact composition when I'm in a race or I'm working on my car or whatever. I want to be thinking about what I'm doing at that time. So being able to just set it up and know that I'm going to be able to get an angle that works is great. I did decide to pick up something else though. This is the Insta360 motorcycle mount. I thought it looked kind of flimsy at first and I thought it was plastic, but when I got it, it's a pretty beefy metal construction. Seems a little wobbly, and I guess we'll figure out if this works or if it just splits my mirror in half. One thing I learned pretty quick is that the selfie stick doesn't disappear if you put it upright. I was trying to avoid a stitch line that everybody talks about, but it just doesn't work to get rid of the stick. Something I adjusted later. On the motorcycle mount side, it actually was pretty good. I expected less from a single clamp, but it actually held pretty tight, and it didn't mar up my mirror. On top of that, the camera shake was pretty well controlled too, and I was able to get some interesting angles. Overall, very good experience with this mount. Back to the Insta360. I really enjoyed this camera while I had it. I think it filled a good hole in the market even though it's been out for a while. I could definitely see it being worth the upgrade from a GoPro. It does take a little bit extra time to edit it after the fact compared to a GoPro, but if it can keep me focused on doing what I'm doing while I'm using it, that's a good trade-off in my mind. The app and the computer software are pretty decent too. They come with all the basic functions that you would need to use this. It has a lot of tutorials and it's as intuitive as it can be. It even had okay low light performance. It's nothing to write home about and a professional might not like the results, but it's usable for the average user. Anyway, I think there's a lot more potential to come from this camera, being that this was my first time using it, but I also look forward to seeing what improvements come with the next generation. I'm hoping one comes soon. But for now, I hope this was helpful to anybody who is interested in the Insta360 X3 in 2023, and thank you for watching.